Hello! I have to do a real quick funny video on YouTube. And yes, of course, it's about Jehovah's Witnesses. So I want to tell a short story. Now today is February the 27th, year 2014. And today there's going to be a special talk at all the Kingdom Halls. Now first I want to tell you a short story before I tell you about this thing, which I pretty much know what's going to happen. Now, many years ago when I used to be Jehovah's Witnesses, I at one point was missing meetings regularly because of my job. And I remember my mom, actually, she would always tell me, like on a Monday after our Sunday meetings, my mom would always say, "Hey Vic, how was your meeting?" I, of course, would look at her and say, "Oh, I missed it." She then looked at me and says, "What? You didn't go to the meeting? Why? Are you sick or something?" I, of course, said, "No, I had to work." She then, of course, would look at me and say, "Vic, you need to realize going to the meetings is the most important thing, more important than going to work." So, of course, for a long time, I just kind of ignored it, didn't say anything. Finally, she kept asking me randomly. Finally, I once told her and said, "You know what? If we didn't have so many meetings, 5 meetings, Tuesday for the book studies, Thursday for the theocratic ministry school, then the Sunday meetings, the Watchtower magazine studies, and the public talk, and then Saturdays we'd have to go on the door-to-door preaching, I would be at the meetings more often." My mom then looked at me and said, "Vic, you need to realize that Jehovah's organization will never take away. They will actually add more." So now, I want you to think about what I just said. She told me that they would never take away, that they would actually add more. So now, let's fast forward throughout the years. Now, I left year 2004. It's now exactly 10 years since I left. I've now been disassociated, I'm done, everything. Now, when I left in year 2004, they still had their home Bible study group at the book studies at someone's house. I, of course, went to Brother Donner's house, which I loved. He was a great elder, loved his wife, Louise. And so, now, not long after I left in year 2004, I found out through the grapevine that they did away with home book studies, that now they do it all at a Kingdom Hall. But that didn't last long. One point or the other, they finally completely deleted the book study. So now it went from 5 meetings to only 4 meetings. So that's number 1 they took away. Then I found out a couple years later that it went on Sundays, when you usually would have their 2-hour meetings, the first 45, maybe 50 minutes for the public talk, and then of course the Watchtower study, which equaled 2 hours. I found out they also completely took away a whole half hour of their public talk. So going from 2-hour meetings on Sunday to only an hour and a half. Those are 2 things now. Now I'm going to tell you the 2 most recent things. These are the 2 things that they're going to announce today. Kind of funny that ex-Jehovah's Witnesses find out things before it comes all public to all the current Jehovah's Witnesses. And I'm going to tell you what it is. There's 3 things. Number 1, in the summer, when all the Jehovah's Witnesses would say, "Oh, we're going to go this week for the district assembly," well, let me tell you, they took that name away now. It's going to be no longer be called the district assembly. It's now going to be called the regional convention or the regional assembly. So that's number 3. Oh, and since Jehovah's Witnesses think that they need all this direction and guidance by Jehovah's organization, they need all these meetings and all this bullcrap, well, let me tell you this too. They're also going to make an announcement. If all of you Jehovah's Witnesses remember, they would always have their circuit assembly, which was always a 2-day convention, especially a Saturday and Sunday. Well, let me tell you, they're going to make an announcement that from this day forward, by Jehovah's direction of the governing body or the Watchtower in the Bible and Tract Society, that we are no longer going to be having our 2-day assemblies. We are now only going to have 1-day circuit assembly. Was that the third thing, or was that the fourth thing that they changed and took away? Oh, and here's the most important thing now. They're also going to make an announcement, I'm sure all of you Jehovah's Witnesses remember, is the special assembly, which is always a 1 day. I remember that. They do it once a year. Well, guess what they're going to do with the special assembly? They are going to completely delete the special assembly. No more. All gone. Now, you asked me this more than 10 years ago, which is more than a decade ago, when my mom told me that the Jehovah's Witnesses organization would never take away things, that they will actually add more. How wrong. Duh. There's nowhere in Jehovah's organization that they ever added more. Oh, and one quick thing, I'm sure you all know, this is way back when I was still a good Jehovah's Witness. When I was younger, way younger, that the Jehovah's organization actually used to have not 3, but a 4-day convention for the regional, also known as the district assembly. They took that away to only 3 days. So you know what? What's gonna happen next? Okay, there's my story. Have a good day, everyone.